standings today, or tonight, as you're watching this video. And the next one I'll do is maybe, picking my MVP, my champion, six man, coach of the year, most improved team, yada yada yada. But tonight we're just going to be talking about teams in general, and I'm doing the standings. So yeah, we're going to be doing both East and West tonight. So make sure you like the video if you do like the video, or if you want to see more NBA talking, sports talking videos as well. And make sure you comment down below maybe your top 3, your number 1 seeded team, who's the best in the NBA. Let me know in the comments as well. And also, super thank you again, and I'm probably going to say this in a lot of my videos, but I do it for every video. Super thank you to Crazy Fast for the super comment on the last video. We talked music in my last video. It was one of the more fun videos I've made in the past handful of uploads, and I really love doing it. I'll do another one very soon, but yes, thank you so much to Crazy Fast, just a big supporter. You guys definitely know him by name now. He's definitely a legend down in the comments. Thank you so much, Crazy Fast. I cannot thank everyone enough, honestly, for all the support you guys have been giving me. It's amazing. But I do think it's time we finally get started. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, so we have the 1 through 8, basically predicting the standings for the end of the season, the playoffs, you could even call them, for the NBA East. Last season, very close and a tight race for all these guys. I will be going over the records from the teams last season and see teams jump and fall, yada yada yada. I think we're going to start with the 8 to number 1 spot, even though 1 to 8 would probably be more interesting because we all can probably predict the top couple teams, but it's probably just in good taste we go 8 to 1. So, team that, in my opinion, barely makes that 8 spot, which, by the way, this isn't, I'm going to say the team that, like, makes the playoffs, because, again, we have the play-in tournament nowadays, but I think this is going to be the team that is in the 8th spot. And we're starting off the video with controversy, and you know I love having a spicy take in my videos, just so you guys have fun watching. I think with the 8th spot is a team that, in my opinion, didn't really get better. I think they are stagnant. I think it's still, in my opinion, are injury prone, and I am taking that somewhat into considerations for some of these teams. But it's a team that had a very rocky, before the season even started, relationship. At number 8, I have the Brooklyn Nets. Yes, Brooklyn Nets, a team that can still, to this day, win an NBA championship. I gotta go with the Brooklyn Nets. KD and Kyrie are still there. So there's that. They had, obviously, a lot of talk about trading, and not even talk, they asked to be traded, and nothing happened. That usually doesn't very much sit well with players on the team already. Team chemistry, or even chemistry with, front office, the coaching. Any little small things here and there will change and skew the trajectory of the Nets a lot. And already having a sort of shaky relationship, you're bringing in a shaky type of player with Ben Simmons. I did watch his preseason game. He looked good in the small amount that he got to play, but it's basically trying to run a team with a new point guard, which is a very, 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 very tough to do if you're trying to implement a new point guard into your system. I can see the Nets being, man, if everything goes right, a top 4 seed. If Ben Simmons is 76ers Ben Simmons, and I do know they have TJ Warren and Nicholas Claxton as a solid player. They're gonna have Joe Harris for an entire season. They could definitely jump pretty far up, but I'm not saying I'm, expecting bad, but I'm just trying to be realistic, and, I'm just being realistic with them. I just don't really see them doing anything super crazy because they didn't really get any better, if that makes any sense. Going in with the number 7 seed, definitely 7, 8, and 6 are going to be flip-floppers for sure. Teams that are going to be jumping around in this area, but they are a team that did, in my opinion, get better. their second best player was not doing it. But is the fit going to work? Is having a defensive-minded point guard playing sort of the off-guard role next to Trae Young, who needs the ball in his hand a lot to be effective, with a player that needs the ball in his hand a lot to be effective because he's not really a shooter? Oh man, we're gonna have to see. And I also fear that the Hawks will try to make it work. They're going to maybe, in my opinion, try to fit a circle piece into a square box, and they're going to just try to make this work as best as possible instead of having a better fit next to Trae Young. I like the fit on, in my mind on paper, but again, it's going to take a lot of time and effort and try to get that going. It's a young team still. Ooh, man, this could be interesting to watch. They also didn't really do a lot with getting the team deeper. John Collins hopefully is in a better mindset now that his role is sort of more set in stone where he is in the pecking order, hopefully. Colin Capella is always good. DeAndre Hunter could have a really big jump this year. He could even be maybe even the most improved player from what we saw in the playoffs last year. He even had a little bit of an offensive game, it seemed, which is really good. But again, it is sort of, applying a lot of pressure onto this new duo to work. And maybe they'll crumble under it, or they could succeed again. I think they could even be as high as about 5 or 4 if things go amazingly well. And it is a team that I think a lot of people are going to be like, this team is so underrated. This team could be a top 4 seed, which is fine. It could definitely happen, of course. It's the NBA. Anything can happen. But I think they're still too young for that to happen. But I still think they're going to be really good. And it might even be kind of high for some people. And that is the Toronto Raptors. I am jealous of the Raptors. I think a lot of people are, because they have athleticism, size, switchability, three-point shooting. They have good skill and ball control and a really good coached team. They basically have it all, besides having a star player. If this team had any sort of top 10 to top 15 player in the league right now, this team could be, a championship caliber team. It's just the fact that they don't is what's kind of pulling them down. Also, the fact that their arguable best player is a sophomore in the NBA, which is also kind of rough. I think Pascal Siakam is a great player. I just hate the fact that he has to play center. I hate that. I wish they would have actually gotten a center, made a trade for a center, done something at the center spot to make Pascal Siakam a true power forward like he should be. But he's playing small ball 5, which I don't like about the Raptors. But everything else about the Raptors, I really love Scotty Barnes. Like I just talked about, OG Anunoby is a player every team wishes they had. Jakeer Jr., you guys know, ex-Portland Trailblazer, really solid piece there. Freddie VanVleet was an all-star not too long ago, so they got pieces. They just don't have the it factor, and that's what's kind of pulling them down a little bit. You can sort of see that. Another sort of controversial pick, sorry if you can hear that train outside, is actually a team that was pretty high up here. I'm sort of just giving them the respect that last year they were the number 1 seed, and this team could even, in my opinion, fall. I don't think they'll be the 8th seed, but this team could definitely fall very fast because it's a team that didn't, in fact, get better last season. It's the Miami Heat. I think the Heat, if anything, became stagnant this year. Thankfully, they kept Tyler Hero. That's about it. They re-signed some guys that were on their team last year. They lost PJ Tucker. They did get Jovic from the draft, which was good. And he's probably going to have to play maybe some significant minutes on this team because this team, again, is just, it's a mid-team. And I am very much surprised that they were the number 1 seed even last year. But if we do remember last year, the Heat at the 1 seed were only like 2 games in front of the Philadelphia 76ers for the 4th seed. So it's not like they were a dominant number 1 seed. They, won 2 more games than the 4th best team and then a couple more games than the 5th best team. So additions, or a team that is just young and is only going to get better, or a team with the star power really hit it off, they could really find themselves in a very tricky situation. So I'm just going to give them respect that they were the 1 seed last year, but they are a team that can fall. Going to number 4 now. 4 and 3, in my opinion, are switchable. These two are kind of in their own group. But again, if we're thinking about an 82-game season, some things are going to be going down, and you probably know where I'm going with that. I'm going with the 76ers at the 4 spot. Joel Embiid is amazing. James Harden, amazing. I love the game of Tyrese Maxey. Tobias Harris is a vet that I'm sure every team wishes they had. Matisse Thybulle, lockdown defender. The bench is still pretty mid, but they did pick up PJ Tucker, who's a really good defender. And you hope that the other guys sort of fill out those roles for the 7th, 8th spot. Those sort of tricky spots that every team sort of tries to deepen their bench to. But they have it all. They have a star. They have a good supporting cast around him. They have a go-to guy as well on the perimeter with James Harden. They're good, but health. It's an 82-game season. Who knows how many games Joel Embiid will play? Who knows how many games James Harden will play? I think Maxey can sort of help with that as well. Tobias Harris is a good, solid player as well. They got it, but in a 82-game sense, it is tricky to sort of see that. They were the 4 seed last year. I think they'll be around that area as well. I think, again, they could jump to 3, but in my opinion, the team of number 3 just is a little deeper and have some younger legs. At number 3, I have the Cavs. Now, do I think the Cavs are better than the Sixers? Probably not. If it was a playoff series, I probably would say the Sixers would win. But now having Darius Garland on a fully healthy Cavs team, who, again, were the number 1 seed for a bit in the East last season, I just think they're just deeper. They have more, and they are younger. And they are very talented with, obviously, Evan Mobley, which is a player that could be, I don't want to say generational, but he is going to be the prototypical center of the new age NBA, a 3-point shooter, a rebounder, a shot blocker. He can do it all. He's a rim runner. He has high effort, high energy. Really lucky. Then you also have with their other all-star sort of caliber player with Jarrett Allen, their other all-star caliber player with Darius Garland, and another all-star caliber player with, obviously, Donovan Mitchell on the squad. Then you still have guys like Karis LeVert, Isaac Okoro, Kevin Love. The list goes pretty deep with the Cavs, so that's why I just trust them in a longer NBA sort of a season to see all that. But I still think the Sixers are a better team. Could they be the 3 seed? Of course. Could they be the 2 seed? Yes. Could they be the number 1 seed? Yes. It's going to take a little bit extra effort than some of the other guys I'm going to be talking about. I've always had a team at number 1, and it's not going to be the team that we usually do at number 1. It's the Bucks this time. Yes, I'm not picking the Bucks to be number 1 this year. Very, very sad. I know. But again, a team that has been stagnant, a team that has chosen, hey, we're good enough to win the title. Let's just keep running it back. And I don't know. In the next 2 years, 3 years, the Bucks are really gonna have to look at their own selves and say, hey, are we really maximizing the players we can't put around Giannis? Because in a couple years, these guys are going to be out of their primes, and I mean, they've already sort of descended already with health. Man, the Bucks are I don't want to say this is their last shot with this squad, but we're really going to have to see what this team can do with Giannis this year, because after this year, they're only getting older, and Giannis is only, can do so much. So, I still think they're good, deep. They have Giannis, of course, kind of all you need to have a sort of top 3 seed team in the East. And at number 1, I have here, let's do this one in blue, a team that, well, is the only team that sort of left off at number 1. Smart and Malcolm Brogdon, Peyton Pritchard. You have Al Horford coming back as well. They just re-signed Blake Griffin, which you can have your own opinion about that. Derek White as well. I mean, the team is deep. They have a top 10 player, arguably. They have a top 20 player, arguably. The only thing that you could really think about the team that could be a downfall is, of course, the coaching situation. How much was he a factor in how well the Celtics did last year being an NBA Finals team? I think a pretty big factor. They are a team that I could definitely see slip a little bit and maybe see these other guys sort of make their runs up there, which would make sense. But as of right now, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say, hey, you know what, that was more talent, team play, yada yada yada. Depth as well, for sure. The depth of the Celtics are insane. They even have Gallinari as well. Like I can keep thinking of players and names. So yeah, I think this is my 1 through 8. Celtics, Bucks, Cavs, Sixers, Heat, Raptors, Hawks, Nets. My play-in teams are going to be the Bulls, of course. The Bulls. Injuries with Lonzo, injuries with other players. They just don't have a deep team like sort of the rest of these guys. Could they make it in here and a team fall out? I think yes, of course, but I think full health. I mean, the Cavs were the team that were out of the East last year in the playoffs, but you know that's not going to happen this year. At least we would hope so, with injury not being a factor. And then the 10th seed, I think, is going to be the Wizards. Bradley Beal, Kristaps, Kuzma. I think they have enough to make it there. Yeah, that is it. I think we should go on to the West now. Okay. Western Conference teams now. In the 8th spot is a team that could be possibly the surprise team of the year. But again, I'm going to give respect to some of the other teams that have been here, been around. I think this new team could make a splash, sort of like the Grizzlies did last year. But again, just trying to make it realistic and trying to think, real. I'm giving it to the Pelicans. The New Orleans Pelicans are a team that, if Zion is 100% Zion the entire year, you got Ingram, you got CJ, you got Valanciunas, you get the new rookie in Dyson Daniels, you have Herb Jones as well, who might even sneak into that starting lineup. I think they're a good team still with Jose Alvarado, I think his last name is, Jackson Hayes. They have a good squad on that team for sure. And it could easily be a team that could, again, be like a Grizzlies team and be a 3 seed, or could, buy themselves out of the playoffs. Who knows? We're going to really have to see, and they're going to be tested. They're not going to sneak up on anyone. They're going to be, I don't want to say a dominant team, but they're going to be tough every single night. So definitely watch out for the Pelicans. I'm just trying to think a little bit more on the real side and just sort of give it to the other guys who have been there, and I don't want to expect too much of Zion and this young group just yet. Okay, next we have the 7th seed, which is a team that, like the Nets did, had a very, very bad offseason. Turmoil of the franchise. And just had maybe the worst preseason loss in NBA history. Yes, I think, in fact, the number 1 seed Suns will fall. Will it be 7? Probably not. I think, just from what I've seen, new ownership, Crowder gone, Ayton, very shaky relationship there, Chris Paul, still old, didn't really improve the roster depth-wise. It's just a straw on the camel's back could crumble this franchise very fast, and we've seen it before for a lot of teams, and they could just completely explode this team. Just everyone's available but Devin Booker, and try to reshape this roster. It could happen. But even on a shaky relationship, even with Chris Paul, his legs, we're gonna have to see how many games he even really plays this year and how many minutes he plays. my honest opinion. Coming in at number 6 is also a team that is, in my opinion, and again, my opinion is dumb, stupid, and wrong, it doesn't matter, is a team that could actually be very, very good. It could be a 3 seed, in my opinion, at their best, but I think people are overhyping one man and underplaying how bad the others are on this team, and he still really has not a lot of help when it comes to star power. At 6, I have the Mavs. Yes, I do know that Luka Doncic can make the, what team does he play for? Is it the Slovakia team? Is that who he plays for? Anyways, he makes a European team look like an NBA, like a competitive team when he does play for his home team like he did this offseason, and he looks great. He is an amazing player. He is, in my opinion, maybe the second, third most talented player in the NBA right now, and he is going to will this team to anywhere he can take them. But then, your second best player is, Christian Wood, Spencer Dinwiddie. You did lose Jalen Brunson, who, in my opinion, was actually pretty solid on this team, and now that you don't have him, man, is it going to be really rough for Luka, and a lot of pressure on Dinwiddie and, Dorian Finney-Smith. That's cool. You are getting back, Tim Hardaway Jr., but he's kind of, shaky as well, kind of a streaky player. Man, if Dallas just had literally any sort of like all-star caliber player next to Luka, this team would be a title contender, a true title contender. Could they win a title? Sure, they could sneak one, but I don't think that's really in the stars. And again, if Luka just can't make this team work, they could again see themselves falling like a Suns team, or I don't want to say an 8 seed because that might be blasphemous. But again, if it does all work out and that team really does glue together very strong, you could see a 3-4 seed maybe pretty easily. Number 5, let's actually do another pencil one here. Didn't really get any better. They're just a young team, and I think that youth last season was good, and I think this season, I think they didn't do enough to really get better. They might be potential-wise in their own way, shape, and form, but they're not a team that's going to be sneaking up on anyone at all this year. And number 5, I actually have the Grizzlies. Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are good. They're deep. They have John Morant, top 10 player in my opinion. Jaren Jackson Jr. has had a lot of injury sort of problems in his career, young career already. Desmond Bane is good, and that team, even without John Morant, arguably looked better without having John Morant on that team. You know what I mean? A lot of people have said that before, but the team is really good. I just don't really know if they're going to have that sort of oomph, that power, that kick that they had last season. And again, they didn't really improve the roster really at all. They did re-sign Steven Adams, and maybe they did get a guy here and there that I'm just sort of, brain farting on, which is totally fine, but they are a team that obviously could even be the number 1 seed, in my opinion. They have that sort of depth and talent. I just don't think they're there yet. And again, last season, I don't want to say they snuck the NBA the entire year, but for a vast majority of it, they just were playing so hot, and we're going to see, again this year, if they can rekindle that sort of fire. At number 4 is tough. I think, in my opinion, 7, even any of these teams that I've already mentioned, and even these teams up here could fall, could jump, could be number 1, 2 seed potential teams. That's what's crazy about the West. It's a jumble. And a number 4 is another jumble team, but again, if we're talking about 82-game series, season. Definitely a consideration when we're talking about the LA Clippers. Now, a lot of people would say, Jake Paul, are you dumb? Don't you know Kawhi Leonard is coming back? And season. I think just how top heavy they are will win them a lot of games, and maybe they make a signing, buyout, something like that to make a team glue a little bit more. I think the T-Wolves are going to be just right there, but I think, again, if the Clippers are, playing Kawhi more, Paul George more, I think this could easily flip, but again, Clippers, I'm still not too sure about. Number 2, is tough for me. I really want to say one team, but I can't, because I still, and every year I say this, I think they're a team that, kind of like the Clippers, are going to be more worried about playoffs and titles than, regular season accolades, and that's why I'm putting the defending champs at 2. The Warriors are at 2 for me. Yes, I know. They are the defending champs, and I've seen a lot of these where they are number 1 for a lot of people, which is cool. I dig that. I love that. But again, everyone on that team is older, and we still really need to see their young guys make that next jump. I think Kuminga obviously shows a lot of sparks here and there. Jordan Poole is pretty much the only sort of set deal player that we've seen, and Wiseman, who knows still. So I think players on that team still need to earn it. Kevon Looney, can he sort of do what he did in the playoffs last year, this year, for an entire season? They lost GP, they lost Otto Porter. Andrew Wiggins was last year a fluke. Let's see. We will see. So I think they have 1 seed potential, but again, they're working for titles, not being the number 1 seed. They don't care. So I think anywhere of a top 3 is a good spot for the Golden State Warriors. And number 1, the only team we didn't talk about yet that is going to be maybe must-see basketball, are the Denver Nuggets. Yes, a team that, let's actually see what they were last year. The 6th seed last year won nearly 50 games just with Nikola Jokic and a bunch of role players. Yes, Nikola Jokic and a bunch of 75 overall guys in 2K got a 6th seed. 50 wins, basically. I think with Jamal, with Michael Porter Jr., with Contavious Caldwell-Pope, he's a good little spot-up guy for them to have on their team. Even some of the other guys like Bones Highland, and they have sneaky good players that I think are really going to make this team look good. It might even help Nikola Jokic win back-to-back MVPs. He'll be in that conversation this year without a doubt, because I think the Nuggets are going to be must-see TV. They might have the number 1 record in the entire NBA. They have that sort of roster built. Oh man, for my play-in guys, I got the Lakers, of course. Lakers, LeBron, and Anthony Davis. Whenever you have those 2 guys, you could put a bunch of high scores on that team, and they're gonna have some sort of shot, in my opinion. I like Thomas Bryant. I like Lonnie Walker. I like Russell Westbrook. Still, I guess, and Pat Bev is solid, but I just don't think it's enough to win a lot of games like all these other teams have that opportunity to. And my other playing spot is going to be Portland. I'm not saying that in that order, like Portland's 10, but I think Portland and the Lakers will be in that sort of play-in scenario. Obviously with Portland, I think Portland could easily sneak in and maybe be a 7 seed at best. I think they are very good at their best, but that is at their very, 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 very best is a 7, maybe 6 seed. But it's a new team, and new teams usually never do well in their first year. They have a lot of new shakeups, and I think they will make the play-in. Will they make the playoffs and beat one of these 2 guys? I could see that happening, of course, but that's their best, in my opinion. But yeah, guys, that's gonna be it. That is my total 16-man, 16-team sort of playoff predictions, standing predictions. Let me know what you think, where your team should be. Teams are at number 1 seed, yada yada yada. And if you want me to go into more individual talk about each team, email me my personal email, and I can make a video for you. Maybe talk about your favorite team, favorite players, yada yada yada. I'd love to do that because I obviously can't talk